So I'm pretty sure that I've chosen these sunglasses to stay because they definitely got an overwhelming number of votes, like, you know, more than half by far, so I've been wearing them out. I think I like them. I think they look good. Oh yes, they are beautiful. I'm like so much more delicate with them than my old sunglasses because they're like fancy expensive sunglasses, so I do things like keep them in a case, you know. Whew, pushing the boat out. So I've been seeing a lot of like Foxhole Court stuff on my dash and I have no idea what it is. Maybe something to do with magic, maybe something to do with sport, possibly lacrosse, hockey, maybe? I genuinely have no idea. I don't think I can even remember any of the names I've been seeing. Like, with the Raven Cycle, I know the names. I know that there's a guy called Noah, there's definitely a girl called Blue, and there are others. And I know that there's a school, there is canon gay, and there's definitely magic. Possibly also ghosts. It reminds me of when Welcome to Night Vale was just starting to trickle onto Tumblr, specifically onto my dash, and I think I saw a fan mix. That was what first got me into it. It was a Cecil Carlos fan mix, and it had a really pretty cover, and I listened to it. I think I was kind of disappointed by the music content, because it wasn't as ethereal and pretty as I hoped that it would be by the cover. This was before I knew anything about Welcome to Night Vale. The person who had made this fan mix had written this, like, this thing under the mix that wasn't a quote from the show, and it was about Cecil giving Carlos this mix, and it was in an egg, and Carlos was like, this is an egg, and Cecil was like, yeah, you have to crack it open and that's how you hear the music. How do you do mixes back in your town? Duh. Which is really sweet. So like I had this vague idea from this and from other things that were cropping up on my dash that Cecil and Carlos were part of like a big cast of characters, that they possibly lived in the desert and that there was magic. Maybe I didn't even know it was a desert at that point. And I knew for sure that weird shit happened in this town on a daily basis and that it was basically normal. I wasn't disappointed when I found out what it was actually about, but I think I did find it funny, the difference between what I thought it would be and what it actually turned out to be. It reminds me of when I was little and The Haunted Mansion came out, and I really wanted to see this film because I live for the cute spooky movie genre, like Casper and Wendy and Hocus Pocus. And I wanted to see The Haunted Mansion so much that I had a dream about it. I remember almost nothing about it other than that the house was more of a big house than a mansion. I'm pretty sure it was set in like southern US. There were, you know, those trees that have the, what is it called? Spanish moss, like that draping off them, and the house was made of like clapboard, and there was a big porch. It had been painted white at some point, but it was kind of weathered and old now. And there was definitely a little white dog. And Eddie Murphy was there. But apart from that, like, it bore no resemblance to even the trailers that I'd seen. I mean, I don't know how my brain conjured this. And my dream was also a lot more serious than the movie turned out to be, which I love that movie so much. I need to rewatch it. I mean, the spiders are horrific, but everything else in that movie is just top-notch. But yeah, so has this ever happened to you is what this whole video is building up to, basically. Have you ever, like, seen something and got a vague idea of what you think it's about, and then you actually go and watch it or listen to it or see it or whatever, and you find out that it is completely different? And, you know, what was the difference? You know, I don't know, this sprung into my head for some reason because of the Foxhole Court thing, I guess, and it just made me interested. So tell me. Thanks for your help with the sunglasses, by the way. Very helpful. I will see you soon, I guess. Bye.